Hello, you guys, and welcome. Good morning for those of you that's coming in. Good morning. So, this is going to be a reading of the final moments that led up to Chelsea Kryst death, born April 28th, 1991, passed away January 30th, 2022. Please understand that it took me a few days to really think on whether or not I wanted to come in here and do this reading because I did not wish to disturb, harass her, what her family was going through. I know before I even began to channel this spirit, I am someone who I am very experienced when it comes to my spiritual connection with channeling spirit. I have been a medium now for over 25 years. Okay, so tarot card is one thing, but my being able to channel spirit, that's my true gift. Okay, I am able to channel spirit. I am very clairvoyant. I am very audiovoyant. I connect, I speak, I pray. I made sure that before I even went through shuffling cards on this reading, I made sure that I spiritually connected to Chelsea, asking her permission. Is it okay for me to connect with her? Do she give me her blessings? Because I explained to her that I do not wish to disturb her nor harass her or bother her at this time. I just felt a strong pull to her as I kept watching her photo going through social media over and over and over again. I really felt that it was very important for this reading to be done on her behalf. I could tell you that she did, thank me for this reading because she felt like she could trust me with speaking the truth. I could tell you as I went through shuffling cards on her behalf, what I can share with you about Chelsea is that yes, she's a born Taurus with a Scorpio moon. She has Aries in her chart as well as Capricorn a couple of times. She has Gemini, you know. I went through her chart very briefly because I wanted to see and feel the energies, being able to put two and two together because I am someone who I always believe that there is two sides to every story when it comes to anyone leaving in the manner in this degree. There were so many questions that even I myself asked, was this indeed a true suicide? Because in the beginning I was thinking alleged. I didn't want to come out and say, well, how could someone do this? Someone, so beautiful, driven, hardworking with such a strong passion. But as I began to shuffle these cards and connect to the spirit of Cheslie Kryst, and I believe her middle name is Corinne. if I'm pronouncing it right. Cheslie Kareen Kryst, or Karina Kryst, if I'm pronouncing it right. Um, the first four cards that came out when as I was going through these cards and I was speaking with her and I'm connecting to her spirit. The first card that came out on Cheslie, uh, the Five of Cups. The Five of Cups came out. And then, as soon as the Five of Cups came out, I wasn't aware that there was a sticker in my deck. And as I was talking to her, this flew out. It says, thank you. You know, you might not be able to see that, but it says thank you. Okay. So I was like, I said, okay. I said, she's here. As I began going through her cards, because I don't feel no threat when it comes to her energy, I don't feel no threat whatsoever. Okay. I had to go to spirit. And as I speak to spirit and I ask spirit to bring Cheslie, Kryst spirit, bring her energy in as I ask her permission, I myself have to pray to spirit when I myself had to go to spirit and encircle myself with the white light of love and divine protection. I allow only positive thoughts and energies to affect me. May love, light, and the Holy Spirit protect me and be ever present. So when it comes to the spirit of Cheslie Kryst, someone deeply loved by many. When I asked her, you know, is it okay if she come in? Can we please have this conversation? Because I just don't want to sweep anything under the rug in a negative manner. I want to give her that respect and that opportunity to come across and speak to her fans and people who adored her and loved her emotionally, you know. And so as I channel in her spirit and the Five of Cups came out, the next card that came out was the Five of Wands. I said, okay. And then the next card that came out was the Three of Wands. I said, okay. Then the next card that came out on her behalf was the Three of Cups. I said, okay. As I'm going through it. And then the next card that came out on her behalf was the Two of Cups. I said, okay. I'm still hearing her out. Okay. Then the Death card came out. I was shook. And I said, okay. I said, let me pull back for a second. Let me put this together. Let me get an understanding. Let me get a correct understanding of what it is that she's saying. Okay. Five of Cups. She was saying that, you know, she was depressed and disappointed. Why was she depressed and disappointed? She said the reason why she was depressed and disappointed in her voice, in her spiritual voice, in her spiritual connection to me, is because she is someone who do not agree with people pitting other women together to draw attention. She's not someone who feels as though she has to always be pitted against somebody or have somebody be pitted against her. She's not about jealousy or insecure. She always says she never had a jealous or insecure bone in her body. So she's not somebody who believes in being jealous of another person, nor insecure. She was well aware of her worth and her value. She doesn't believe in drama and conflict. All she ever sought after was peace when it comes to the Five of Wands and the Five of Cups. And so she said she was disappointed. She said she was depressed. When it came to the Three of Wands, she was somebody who sought at the opportunity. She was somebody who always knew how to wait patiently for the right time to come in. She was somebody who adored sisterhood, friendship, family, and close loved ones when it comes to the Three of Cups. She is someone who always felt compatible when it came to love, joy, and happiness. You know, I would play this tape over and over in my head, asking myself, because the question and my concern in the very beginning, when this first took place in the First Republic, and they said that she lived on the 9th floor, and that she traveled to the 29th floor by elevator to what would have been an open ledge where she committed suicide, ending her life. And I said to myself, well, why would anybody go from the 9th floor to the 29th floor to jump when she could have, if they, allegedly wanted to truly do this, why she didn't just jump from her own 9th floor apartment? That bothered me, for a couple of days, 2-3 days. I asked myself that. I was like, okay, let me try to piece this whole thing together. And so I tried to play my, like, okay, she gets on the elevator, I'm playing this over and over again. So as I'm putting the pieces together, because I even went through my Bible, I said, well, let me go through my Bible. Let me look for the 29th verse. You know what I'm saying? Let me see what's going on with the 29th verse and why she chose 29. And she was someone who, she said, when it came to planning and organizing things, she was someone who knew how to plan things out perfectly to a T so that she didn't get nothing wrong. She was somebody who knew how to dot her I's and cross her T's. This was a situation that played out on her over and over and over again nightly. She chose the 29th floor because she felt like turning 30. It was like she felt as though after 29 years, her life began to spin out of control. She felt like 29 for her was the perfect number. She sought out every detail. If I'm going to do this, how can I do this? And see, spiritually, there is a saying that when it comes to choosing a cliff, always choose a cliff, that sometimes the cliff can be so high up that you can't see yourself falling. So she chose a cliff that was high up enough that she couldn't see herself falling. She sought this out perfectly to a T. When it comes to this Two of Cups and this Death card, she was also somebody, like I said, she had Scorpio moon, and she had Scorpio in her birth chart twice. After the Death card came the Devil card. For those of you who don't know, she has Capricorn in her birth chart twice. She truly felt like things just began to spin out of control. And when I asked her how so, explain that a little more, explain it a little more when you say things begin to spin out of control towards your 30th birthday, because I wanted to know, could there have been possibly foul play. Good morning, you guys. I see I have somebody in here who is trying to cause problems. So let me hold on for a second. Let me see. Because that person needs to get off of here. Where is it at? Hold on. Yeah, I need to get rid of that person. Okay. Hello, Empress Grace. Shalonda. Hello, Brittany. Good morning. So anyway, like I was saying, she was a born Taurus sun, Scorpio moon. I believe she had in Venus, I think she might have had Aries or Gemini in Venus because she had Gemini in her chart. As I'm going through this reading, as I'm channeling her spirit, she was someone who felt like she definitely wanted to have this new beginning with this Ace of Cups. She felt like by her 30th birthday that she would have what felt like she was going through some sort of spiritual transformation. She was someone filled with vision. She was definitely spiritually connected. She was someone who was strongly connecting to spirit, okay? She could be somewhat of an empath herself. Someone with the ability to have these spiritual visions and these downloads. She tried very hard to overcome obstacles when it comes to the cancer, okay? And I believe cancer was in her birth chart, okay, as well. She was someone who definitely tried very hard to overcome obstacles. She was someone filled with love and passion. She viewed herself as the empress, somebody abundant, gifted, wise. But there was a part of her that felt very entrapped when it came to this Ace of Swords cards that came out. She felt very entrapped. She felt very isolated. She felt very alone. She felt very depressed and very disappointed. She felt as though she really needed to free herself from what this was. She felt that when it came to the Queen of Swords energy, that she was misunderstood. That when it came to communicating directly or speaking her truth on how she really felt, she felt as though on the outside, so many people looked at her beauty on the outside, her gorgeous, gorgeous smile, her beauty, her laughter, her just being someone that the whole world would just love, People really took to her outside, okay? And so because she was so bubbly on the outside, that she almost felt somewhat neglected because people didn't understand her inside. Where for her, it was like beauty was skin deep. There were times when she didn't want to put on the makeup. She didn't want to get her hair done. She just wanted the whole world just to love her unconditionally, without feeling like she had to go through all this and that just to attract attention or people. It was like she was almost confused because she was loved by so many. She just didn't understand what was going on inside her, on her inside, because she knew she was going through some sort of spiritual transformation. Now, what I will say is what led up to her being so depressed. So disappointed, so hurt. What led to it? Okay, so I asked her, speak to me briefly. What led up to this. Judgment card came out, where when it comes to judgment card is all about rebirth, transitioning, the wake up call. And I feel passionately that she woke up, after receiving some sort of a call that could have perhaps woke her up um in the middle of the night. I do feel as though she had a significant other in private, somebody who was ready to take quick action toward her to try to save her from herself. With this here Eight of Wands, I feel as though she tried very hard to manifest a new beginning for herself, because she was somebody who was a true believer in spirit. She was somebody who was a true believer in herself, a true believer in God. She stayed prayed up daily. But she was someone who was also caught up with this hangman, who she really spiritually felt that she had to make a sacrifice. And she felt that when it comes to having to make a sacrifice, that she felt the huge need that in order for her to make a sacrifice, that she would have to sacrifice herself in order to let go of what this was that was spiritually attacking her. No, in the beginning, I thought it was foul play. Could there have been another woman who was involved with some jealousy toward her? Yeah, we'll get into that, okay? Foul play, in the beginning, I questioned it. But what I will say is that as I was connected to her spirit, she was somebody who all she ever wanted was to have a complete Ten of Pentacles, family, friends, close loved ones. She had a passion for strong sisterhood, a love for animals, but she always felt like it was some sort of an empty void. Okay? What was that empty void that she felt was missing from her life? Um, and she spoke and said that, yeah, she knew that she had many, options of opportunities and career paths. She knew this. She knew that she had many offers on the table that she could choose from when it comes to taking on this beautiful career path. She was someone who, yes, focused on herself with the Nine of Pentacles, but she didn't want it to do it where it was so publicly. She wanted to kind of focus on herself, but focus on herself privately. You understand? Where she didn't want to have both her private life and her public life on display. So some things she kept to herself that she chose and wanted to keep private. Okay. She also has Leo in her birth chart. Okay. She has Leo in her birth chart. And so I was kind of surprised as I was going through shuffling these cards and connecting to her spirit. She's bringing certain things out to me. She's showing me certain things, where she shared to me that, yeah, her life was built on having this self-confidence. But spiritually, she felt as though her self-confidence was all about the beauty on the outside, wearing this mask on the outside. Everybody was so attracted to her beauty. It was just, amazing. And sometimes it was overwhelming to her, where she had to learn how to accept her own self-confidence. Aries is also in her birth chart. Leo card came out. Aries card came out. She has Aries in her birth chart. She has Leo in her birth chart. She has Capricorn, Gemini in her birth chart. Um, she felt like she took on this leadership role. Um, she viewed herself as the empress, where she said she wore her crown proudly. Okay. Um, but at the same time, with this Nine of Wands, she didn't feel as though she needed or should have been forced to have to prove herself to anybody. You know, when it came to dealing with conflict or people who tried to pit her against other people, she just didn't have time for the conflict or the drama. And when I asked her, well, when you say conflict, what kind of conflict are we referring to, you know? And so when I asked her about, let's go a little deeper, um what type of conflict are we talking about? Why do you feel as though people were pitting you up against anyone else, or you feel as though you don't, she made it clear, she strongly she believes in positive sisterhood and womanhood and woman empowerment, and how women should love each other and love self, believe in self, never doubt yourself, but she did make it clear that in private there was another person in her life, okay, behind closed doors that no one knew anything about, okay? She made it clear that when it came to the Seven of Swords, that there was somebody who she dealt with for quite some time, on and off, okay, behind the cameras, where the relationship was secret, where she felt as though, was an ongoing, on and off private affair. She felt as though she gave her all in this situation, in this matter between her and this other individual, only to be let down and stabbed in the back with the Ten of Swords between her and this other individual. Reason being is because with the Moon card, there were deep secrets that lied beneath the surface between her and this other individual. Now, I didn't see Pisces in her birth chart, but I did see Cancer and Scorpio in her birth chart, okay? Now, that's not to say that she wasn't dealing with the Pisces. I know I felt toward Libra energy, but there were secrets that lay deep beneath the surface between her and this individual, where she felt stabbed in the back. And so when I asked her, well, why, Cheslie, talk to me, why do you feel as though you were stabbed in the back when it came to you and this other individual? And like she said, she was someone who don't believe in putting her private life up on display. But at the same time, she fell deeply in love with another individual. But they kept it hid from the media, and so they kept it hid from social media and the public, okay? She said it went on for quite some time. But the reason why she felt backstabbed and betrayed is because this other individual broke her heart. Not maliciously, not on purpose, but I believe this other person who she drew to fall in love with and have this strong connection with was somebody who she never thought in a million years would up and leave her and move on to be with somebody else. And so I do believe that there was another significant person in her life who had moved on with their life and gotten married to another individual. And she was someone who always felt like if she was going to be with another person, okay, cool, be with this person. But if the person she was with chooses to move on, be with somebody else, then she wasn't going to get in the way and allow herself to be pitted against another woman. That if that man chose another woman over her, then so be it. Could her be with that other woman because she's not going to chase or stand here and fight. If that's, if that's a choice you made, it's a choice you made, you know. And so I said to her being a woman of her passion, of her driven, of her beauty and her success, what was it about this relationship that would make another individual pick up and leave and move on to be with somebody else versus this person could have been with you? And she said to me, because that other person was someone who who came across as being a bit insecure of her career, someone who was jealous and insecure of her career, that the person who she was involved with didn't want to be seen in public as being in her shadow. This person wanted to have their own life. They didn't want to be connected to her career. They wanted to be themselves. And so this person would always tend to have like jealous mood swings of insecurity. But this person at the same time did let her know that they loved her unconditionally. That didn't mean this person didn't love her, because they truly did love her. And even though this person moved on to be with somebody else, they still loved her. But she wasn't going to play side chick number two. You want to understand what I'm saying? She wasn't going to allow this person to come back and forth and be with her and then leave her and go be with the wife, and have her be portrayed as the mistress. She wasn't willing to mess up her brand and mess up who she was. She don't want people looking at her like she's this side chick who came to destroy this person's life. That's not what she wanted. And it's like she felt like when it came to this situation, she gave her all. She kept giving and giving and giving, but she felt like she wasn't really getting back in return her equal justice when it came between her and this individual. Like I said, she definitely viewed herself as the empress, okay, where she said she wore her crown and she wore her crown proudly. She wore her crown proudly. Strong women endearment, women empowerment, sisterhood. She loved to love. All she ever did was seek after peace, moved in moderation, moved in silence. She was someone who, she was a Taurus, yes. She had Capricorn in her birth chart twice, but she also took on the Virgo energy, hermit mode, when it comes to going inside and reassessing her own situation, taking a moment to reflect, taking a moment for herself, taking on the Queen of Pentacles energy as an earth sign, knowing that she had to do what she had to do, and in order for her to move forward and be this woman who she was, she had to learn how to separate herself from things that no longer served her and focus on her in nature. She was someone who loved the outdoors. She wasn't afraid of heights. She wasn't scared of heights. Was this a situation that led up to her death with this Four Cups, where she was definitely strongly contemplating, meditating, taking time to really figure some things out, thinking day and night, night and day, morning, noon, and night, how she was going to apply herself, her life, what was she going to do? She was well aware that she was loved by so many in the public, so many people. She was loved by so many people in the public. But there's Six of Wands. When it comes to public recognition and promotion and, business opportunity, she got all that. But the one thing that was lacking was this man or this person in her life who she truly loved, that she couldn't have, who she couldn't have to herself. So she had already been going through some depression in her life, dealing with her own self-confidence, her own beauty, her own inner self. But the icing on the cake was that she felt an empty void in her life when it came to her carrying this burden with the Ten of Wands. She was carrying this burden. Page of Wands energy, Knight of Cups energy, so many messages and downloads coming in. She felt as though she was carrying this huge burden that just led to disappointment and depression with this here Five of Cups. Like I said, did she receive this phone call telling her that, from this individual, they never meant to hurt her, they never meant to leave her, they never meant to have, and I feel like this person who walked away from her walked away in regret because they never meant to disappoint her, they never meant to hurt her. I felt like when this person did walk away from her, they walked away in high regrets, wanting to run back to her and save her from herself, but this other individual felt like it was too late. And it was. Was there foul play in her death? No, she was somebody who knew how to plan things out perfectly. She dotted her I's, she crossed her T's. She did everything that she planned to do step by step. This just wasn't something that came to her within a matter of seconds. This was something that she fought with for several days and for certain nights. She was battling her inner self. She was battling this demon that kept telling her that the only way that she would ever be able to seek peace is to sacrifice something. She would have to sacrifice something, and she would have to let go of something. And so if she was going to sacrifice something, what would it be? And she kept hearing the voice telling her that the only way that she would be able to get even with anybody in life was to sacrifice herself. She chose the 29th floor because she felt like, all she ever wanted, because like I said, with that Page of Wands and that Knight of Cups energy, she viewed herself as being free-spirited, seizing the right opportunity. And even with that Three of Wands, waiting for the right time and the right opportunity to seize the moment. Sisterhood, celebration, family, friends love her. She didn't want her death or people to look at her death as an ending, but instead as a celebration, understanding that she loved the Lord. She just didn't love herself enough to keep staying here and feel as though she was being pitted against another woman, or having another woman being pitted against her because she refused to play the second or third side chick. She wasn't going to do that. And so she chose the number 29. She chose it because she felt like, after 29, things just started spinning out of control. She planned this out perfectly. She knew she was going to do this. That's why she left a note. That's why, she dealt with this. And the reason why she took the elevator to the 29th floor is because she had told herself that if she chose a cliff or a ledge that was high up enough, that the perfect cliff or perfect ledge that was high up enough, she wouldn't be able to see herself falling. In order for her to have this new beginning and just to free herself, because she felt entrapped. She felt entrapped. She felt isolated. She felt stuck. She was fighting this inner demon who, kept telling her that, outer beauty is one thing, but nobody cares about you because the inside of your beauty, nobody really cares. Nobody, she kept hearing these voices play out in her head over and over and over again. Did she take her final breaths on that ledge and say, yes, God, here I am? Did she sit there and pray and repent and say, God, if I'm doing anything wrong, then allow me to repent for my sins and my shortcomings now? For I don't mean to wrong you, Lord, but this is something that she's been dealing with. So as she take this step forward, she takes one step forward and she kept saying, Lord, I'm going to take the next step. Sometimes when we deal with our shadow self, And when we deal with that shadow demon, it could be almost like a feeling of being pushed off a ledge. Was she afraid of heights? No, she wasn't, because she was someone who believed in climbing heights, to her destiny. But she felt like when she had to turn the crown over for the next Miss America, she felt like a part of her had went with that crown, that she had to give up and walk away. When she became Miss America, she knew that it wasn't going to be forever. But at the same time, same token, she carried the utmost respect for the title. She did everything that she was supposed to do, pretty much damn near perfect. But when it came time to pass the crown on, it was like passing on the baton, and passing it on was like passing on a part of herself. So when she passed on a part of herself, she felt like a part of herself was gone. It's a sad situation. Um, I don't believe anybody would have pushed her off of there. If anything, somebody would have came and tried to pull her back from jumping, from leaping. But she didn't share. It wasn't like she told somebody that she was getting ready to do this. She kept that to herself. She already knew. She already knew. She knew that when she got on the elevator and she was going up, she felt like she was going up to meet her maker. And that's the reason why she went 20 floors up, from the ninth floor to the 29th floor. She felt like she was going to meet her maker. And if she was going to meet her maker, she wanted to meet her maker up at a high, higher up. She wanted to meet her maker. She wanted to come face to face with her God. She wanted to come face to face and let the Lord know that she was here to sacrifice herself, because she loved the Lord so much that she didn't fear dying. And she just wants people to know that, just to continue to love her, because her death um wasn't dealt or done to harm or hurt anybody, but for her it was like a form of a celebration. The inner her. The inner her that she had a hard time loving. The outside was one thing, but the inside was a complete another. Yeah, definitely rest in peace to Regina King's son. That was another sad situation. I know all on social media I kept seeing so much about death and suicide, and a part of me kept saying I didn't understand, I can't relate. I mean, I know all about suicidal thoughts. I know all about depression. I know all about trials and tribulations and going through the BS in the relationship and the hurt and the pain that not having somebody who you love dearly, what that feels like. But then I say to myself, well, damn, if I had her coins, if I had her life, would I, you know, would that have even been a thought? You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes we think that when you have it all, that you would, the last thing you want to do is take your life when you have everything going on for yourself, right? But we never know um about mental disorder, you know. I know I have a son 29 years old, and my own son went through a lot of mental, emotional depression and had many, many dark nights. And I went through many, many cycles with my son. And so I understand what it's like to be a mother and go through that pain. My heart goes out to her mother, her family, her friends, her loved ones. My condolences. I pray that she is at peace. I feel like she is. I know she's with her family and those who love her. Yeah, the angels definitely got her. The angels definitely got her. Because she had even mentioned the fall. It was like as she was falling, her spirit was being lifted. So, soon as she fell and landed to the concrete, that was it. That was it. It was done. Definitely sad. Mm, I'm gonna have to thank her for coming in, sharing her story, with me and allowing me this time to connect with the spirit. Cause I'm getting kind of choked up here, and so to the Cheslie Kryst girl, just rest peacefully. Lord have mercy. But I don't feel like there was no foul play. I just felt that was her heart broken? Yes. Was she? Did she have a secret relationship that she kept private? Yes. And it didn't go in her favor. Um, but no foul play. I don't feel no foul play. Did she have another woman that could have been jealous of her because of this relationship with this other individual? Yes, this other woman felt her to be a threat. The other woman knew about her. The other woman knew about her. Um, so was the other woman jealous of her? Of course. Um, was this okay? I got him now, and you don't have him, and you lost him. Yeah, but she wasn't somebody who was going to sit there and argue with another woman or a man because, like she said, she was pretty enough that she could get, she could get any man she wanted to. So it wasn't like she had to pit herself against another woman because if that's who he wanted, if that's who he chose, and so be it. But don't keep coming back to her, telling her you love her and you want to be with her, then you go and be with somebody else. So she kept that part of her life secret. And she wasn't going to ruin her brand nor allow for anybody to ruin her brand. Was this her feeling like she was giving her all and that she just got shitted on and stabbed in the back behind this? Yeah, most of us women can relate to that shit. Yes, most definitely, Brittany. Most definitely. you know so let us just give a moment. Let us give a moment of peace. Let us give a moment of peace. As we say I feel well. She knows that she's loved. She knows this. And I keep hearing her say thank you. Blessings. She must go now. She's saying she must go now. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Chelsea. She's saying she must go now. She's saying thank you, thank you. Mm. On that night, on that note, you guys, I'm going to release this reading, okay? And let me get a minute to gather myself here, okay? I will come back and do a reading for my earth signs, okay? So with that being said, I am out. I hope you all enjoyed it. I am Virgo Star Medium, and this is what I do. I connect the spirit. This is my gift. I've been channeling spirit now for over 25 years. So, this is what I do. So, with that being said, I am out, you guys. God bless and one love. Peace and blessings to you all.